All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Be a Boss coaching video. I am Beatriz, or Bia. I am an entrepreneur and business coach. And today I want to talk to you about healing your inner niña or your inner child. And why is that so important within our entrepreneurship journey? Let me tell you. So I want to give you a story of how when I started my coaching business, I actually wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I was very overwhelmed, very unclear. There were so many options around what kind of business I could potentially start. And at the time, I was a social worker, and I still consider myself a social worker, but I was working for a hospital doing case management and then actually running a small team that focused on bringing in referrals for our case management department. And in that time, while I was simultaneously trying to build a business and trying to figure out what kind of services I could provide, I actually decided to pretty much stop doing all that work and just continue in my social work career path. And I did that because I couldn't figure out what kind of business I wanted to start. I figured that why am I wasting my time trying to figure this out when I've already started on a path and I could just continue on that path moving forward. But if you are someone that has never considered healing or any sort of modality around figuring out and looking inward and figuring out who you are as a person and really addressing some wounds either from the past or currently, perhaps maybe even recent past, a lot of stuff blocks you from making new paths forward. It blocks you from being brave to start new paths because essentially you are avoiding what you've always avoided, and avoiding something is much easier than facing it head on. And avoiding is much way easier way to exist than actually facing something. So what happened is, in trying to continue on this path, I kept getting pulled back to my entrepreneurship. I kept getting stuck because ultimately that's not the path I wanted to continue walking on. During that time, I was not sleeping. I was very anxious. And as much as I wanted to move forward in this new path, this current path that I was on, I just couldn't seem to get past it. There's a lot of things that were coming up that I hadn't really addressed. Funny enough, I actually realized that I actually had a therapist. So I texted my therapist and I said, hey, there's a lot of things that I need to address that I haven't said out loud, and I need some support around facing and addressing some of the traumas that I have been dealing with, or I guess suppressing or avoiding for a very long time. And so I did. And it was a very hard thing to do. It was a very painful thing to do. But it's like when you physically have a wound, you don't just ignore it, right? Like you have to treat it. And sometimes the treatment of that wound can be painful. Imagine, if you recall, ever putting antiseptic or alcohol on a fresh wound, it burns, but it really keeps it from getting any worse or getting infected. And that's what wounds, emotional wounds, do to us, is when they have been lingering without any treatment or addressing of them in any way or healing of them in any way, they just fester and they block you from really going forward with what you really want to do, with what your being and your soul and what you truly want to do for yourself and move forward in a new way. So that is what I recommend healing for everybody, because as much as we love to avoid, and it's much easier to just keep all those bad memories or past traumas away, not facing them really blocks us from moving forward. So I just wanted to share that, because after doing that with my therapist and actually getting some support, get yourself someone that is an expert, someone that is known to help through some of these challenges. And once you do that, it's so much easier to form new paths, to go and be brave down those new paths because you've addressed wounds and past traumas that are now healing in the healing era. So that is where my current era is. It's in healing, it's in moving forward, it's in wanting to be a better version of myself and facing the fear head on, even when it hurts, even when it's painful. I know it's going to be a different version of me on the other side of that. And I know that can happen for you as well. So if you are thinking about starting a new business, for example, that is a brave and wonderful thing that you're doing. I am so proud of you. And if you've been feeling stuck lately, if you've been feeling like anxious and overwhelmed at everything that you're trying to do, I encourage you to seek out support, seek out some ways that you can start to let out any doubts that you might be facing, any emotions that you might be holding on to, and traumas or anything that you feel is really keeping you there. And you can start with yourself. I would definitely encourage you to journal, let out your emotions, anything that you're thinking about, literally out of your brain onto a piece of paper or even a digital notebook, or even voice notes can help too, to just speak it out loud and say things that talk to yourself or say it out into the air, anything that you feel like you want to let out. You can start there. And a healing journey is never too late to start. You can start and it changes as you move through that journey. All right, so I am here for you. If you have been looking for support in your entrepreneurship journey, you would like some help figuring out what decisions to make, maybe you're trying to figure out what kind of product you're trying to start, I would say you can definitely reach out to trusted mentors or friends who have businesses and start looking for a community, because without a community, it's very hard to continue as this journey, especially as a woman of color, especially as a BIPOC or queer entrepreneur, because there's not a lot of information that's catered and created specifically for us. So reach out and seek out a community of other business owners and entrepreneurs. And you can start with me. So I'd love to get to know you, book a complimentary call, and I'd love to guide you in the right direction. Even if I'm not the right person for you in the moment, that's okay. And as a social worker, I know that even if I don't know all the answers, I at least help you look for the right answer that is best for you. As a social worker turned entrepreneur coach, I would love nothing more than to help you out and make you continue to take those steps in the right direction. All right. I hope this was helpful. Let me know how this landed with you. Like, comment, share if this was any service to you. And if you'd love to know more, please follow me on Instagram at Be a Boss Coaching. You can also come and check me out at beabosscoaching.com. I also have a podcast, so go and check out the podcast if you like. I could come into your inbox and sign up for my newsletter. All right, have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you all soon. Bye.